A lower line feels like a discount. A player was listed at 20.5, the number drops to 18.5, and suddenly the over looks like a bargain. The problem is that a discount is not the same thing as value. Sometimes the lower line creates a real probability edge. Other times the cost is hidden in the payout, the extra legs it encourages, or the fact that you are comparing the new line to the old line instead of comparing the price to the true probability. That is the hidden cost of discount picks. They make the decision feel easier, but the only question that matters is whether the improvement in your chance of winning is bigger than what you give up to get it. Today I want to break that down with simple math and show when a discount is worth taking versus when it is just a better looking way to overpay. Start with the part that most people skip, the payout. Imagine a 2-pick entry that returns 3 times the entry fee if both picks correct. The 3 times is the total return, including the original entry. If each pick is a true 50-50 proposition and the 2 results are independent, the chance of winning both is 25%. Multiply that 25% by the 3 times return and the average return is only 75% of the money entered. That is a 25% expected loss before you even talk about fees, limits, or bad information. Now suppose the discounted lines improve each pick from a 50% chance to a 58% chance. The 2-pick win probability is not 58%. It is 58% multiplied by 58%, which is about 33.6%. At a 3 times return, the expected return becomes just over 100%. That looks like a tiny positive edge, about 1% before the assumptions break down. But imagine that the discounted selections come with a lower total return of 2.75 times. The same 33.6% chance multiplied by 2.75 produces an expected return of roughly 92.5%. The line got easier, but the payout haircut turned the bet negative. That is the hidden cost in one sentence. A higher hit rate does not automatically compensate for a lower payout. The first trap is payout compression. A lower projection can increase the probability that a pick gets there, while the payout attached to that pick or lineup changes at the same time. If you only look at the line, you see the benefit and ignore the cost. The right comparison is not, how much lower is this number? It is, how much did my probability improve, and how much of that improvement did the payout already charge me for? The second trap is that discounts invite extra legs. One lower line looks attractive by itself, so it becomes the reason you add another pick to an entry that was already difficult. A 58% pick misses 42% of the time. Or independent picks at 58% give you only about an 11% chance of sweeping all 4, 5 fall below 7%. Flex structures offer more ways to survive, but they do not erase the probability cost of adding legs. This is where I use Parlay. I do not want the tool to look at a discounted number and simply tell me that it feels safer. I want it to examine what actually moved the probability. Parlay brings live statistics, injury information, lineup and rotation news, matchup context, and the latest changes that can make a projection more or less realistic. I can choose one model for a focused read, use a full panel to compare different interpretations, and use the live chat to challenge the assumptions behind the pick. It also reflects on previous losses, so the review can distinguish between a bad process and a reasonable decision that lost because the role or information changed. You can check it out at parlay.cc. The job of AI here is not to admire the discount. It is to ask what it is compensating for. Did the player's role change? Did an injury create more opportunity? Did the matchup improve? Did the market already move? A lower line without a reason is not analysis. It is a visual cue. The third trap is treating the original line as if it were fair. If a prop opened at 20.5 and now sits at 18.5, that does not mean 18.5 is automatically cheap. The original number may have been wrong, the news may have changed the workload, or the market may have adjusted elsewhere. The better question is where the fair line should be now, based on the player's distribution and repeatable opportunity rather than a recent streak. The fourth trap is correlation. 2 discounted picks can depend on the same game script, the same teammate, or the same rotation. A receiver over and a quarterback over may both benefit from a pass-heavy game, but the relationship changes the joint probability. A running back under and a teammate's rushing over may be connected in the opposite direction. You cannot always multiply the individual hit rates and pretend the answer is precise. The picks are not floating in separate worlds, and the payout may already reflect certain combinations. There is also a psychological cost. A discount creates urgency because it feels temporary, and you start asking whether you will miss the sale instead of whether the player is correctly priced. Markets do not reward you for buying something because the label says it used to cost more. Here is the process I use before accepting any discounted pick. First, write down the original and current numbers, without assuming the original was fair. Second, look at the exact payout. If the total return is m times the entry, the basic break-even probability for an all-correct result is 1 divided by m. A 3 times return needs a 33.3% chance of winning the entire entry to break even. Then estimate the probability from roll, matchup, injury news, usage, and the full range of outcomes. Check correlation, check whether the payout changes for that combination, and compare the expected return after the discount with the return before it. If the payout absorbed the entire benefit, the discount is cosmetic. The best use of a discount is to improve one specific decision when you can explain why the probability moved. Would you still like the pick if the old line had never been shown to you? If not, you may be reacting to the sale instead of evaluating the market. Discount picks are not automatically bad, they can be valuable when new information creates a real opportunity and the payout still leaves room for the edge. But a discount is never a substitute for a number, a probability, and a payout that work together. So the next time a pick drops and the over suddenly looks obvious, pause before adding it. Ask what changed, calculate what the entry needs to win, and check whether the payout moved with the line. Use live information and AI to challenge the story, not just to repeat it. The cheapest looking line on the screen can still be the most expensive decision on the board.